let's hop on to our next subject for the evening. That is
All right.
Subclasses Part 1. The most creatively, so creative. I've never seen such a creative name for one of the Unearthed Arcana supplements.
Oh, okay. So we have 4 subclasses in this chunk. They are the Barbarian, the Path of the Beast subclass, the Monk Way of Mercy subclass, the Paladin Oath of the Watchers, and the Warlock Patron, the Noble Genie. I don't know if we want to actually just read all of the text on all of these, Jeremy. I'd rather just go through and just kind of take some broad strokes on some of these.
I think that's a great idea. So the first thing, before we dive into any of the specifics, let's look at the Barbarian concept here. Path of the Beast. You're a barbarian, you've got this lycanthrope blood, or this bestial spirit, or something along those lines that dwells inside of you. Cool concept.
Yeah, I love it. They gave a little table called Origin of the Beast, which gives you a few options for if you don't have your own idea for your barbarian beast kind of forming. They give you a few cool choices, and they're all great. And I really like the archetype. This is actually, on the subject of things that I've been working on homebrewing, I actually had a few notes already for a lycanthrope barbarian, but Wizards took it out from underneath me.
You know what's really interesting, actually, that you mentioned? This is incredibly similar to the Circle of the Scarlet Moon Druid subclass that I built.
Yeah, there's some points there too.
Over a year ago now. I'm not sure if I ever shared that with you guys, actually, now I'm thinking about it. But, it's got this really cool idea where at 3rd level, you can partially transform, right? Gaining mandibles or tusks or claws or a big spiny tail like a manticore or something. And it's just a really cool, really taking that transformation aspect and moving the subclass in a direction that's so far away from the totem barbarian. Because that's kind of similar, right? Because you pick a beast for your totems.
Yeah.
And this is the Path of the Beast.
It doesn't feel anything like that to me, because totem barbarian always felt very spiritual to me, but this is very much just no, you're just a little bit of a monster. You're just kind of a monster, is the vibe here. And let's talk about some of the features and stuff that you get.
Yeah, so I just mentioned that first 3rd level feature, Form of the Beast, which lets you manifest a natural weapon when you are raging. You partially transform. The options are a bite attack, which gives you a bestial snout, giant mandibles, whatever you want. Just terrifying, the insect mandibles. They're entothropes right there, Pete. They're stealing from us.
They got you can get big claws on each hand, so you can slash at people. And last but not least, you can grow a big spiny tail, which is also cool. And this is my favorite part of the subclass. I really like these transformations. All of them give you a cool weapon to use that gives you some extra features, and they are fun. They are powerful, but not they're on par, I think, with a lot of the other rage bonuses that you get.
Yeah, I think so indeed. I think there's actually a pretty well balanced 3rd level feature. Pretty reasonable. At least at a glance.
Close to money, as far as I'm concerned. There may be some things you can do with that extra attack that I'm not quite taking part of, but it's a D6 weapon, so it doesn't seem too bad.
And it's a natural weapon, which is really important.
Yeah.
There's no magic weapon shenanigans going on there. And one of the things that I think they did really right here, and it's one of the things that I focused on my Scarlet Moon Druid, which was a lycanthrope-based druid, is features that you're going to see later in the subclass tie into using these natural weapons. So it does more than just give them to you. It gives them to you, and using them gives you more benefits as you level up. So you keep using them instead of being well, I used my claws for the first 3 levels, but now I'm going to take this great sword I found because it's on fire. Which I like that. I like supporting the concept with more mechanics. And of course, the 3 options, bite, claws, and tail, do different things. Claws, like Pete said, gives you an extra attack when you attack with the claws. Tail gives you a very strong damaging attack with reach, and bite lets you heal a little bit every time you bite someone, or once a turn when you bite, which all pretty reasonable.
And to check back in with chat right here, I see Popa Potatoes and After have popped in. Hello. Thank you, Cold Spark, so much for your gifted sub. Congratulations on your sub, After 232. So much generosity in chat.
Sass represent.
The Sass is in town. But hello, After. And Pope was saying this feels very druidic rather than barbarian. Yeah, there's
It's
definitely a lot
almost
of...
like I built this as a druid subclass a year ago. Weird.
But yeah, absolutely, for sure it does. There's even actually one of the origin of the beasts here is that, where was it? Oh yes, you could roll you're descended from a legendary druid, a fact manifested by your ability to partially change shape. So I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. It definitely has a little bit of a druidic vibe, but the primal rage of nature is something that definitely still feels appropriate to barbarian for me.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think it makes a lot of sense, right? You have this rage deep within you that's kind of exploding. I get it. I think it works as a concept.
So
Here's
let's
where I think we diverge a little bit, personally.
Did we talk Bestial Soul at all?
No, and that's where I want to talk about now. At level 6, your big feature, right, is when you first your attacks are magical, kind of essential.
Yeah, that's fine.
The second thing you get is when you finish a short or long rest, you can pick one of 3 features, and those features, you gain them for the duration. And one of them is you gain a swim speed and can breathe underwater. You gain a climb speed equal to your walking speed and can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings without needing to make a check. Okay. And you can extend your jump distance once per turn, but if you make an athletics check, which is really cool.
That one I love.
Here's the problem I've got right off the bat with this, Pete, that this wigged me out. If I'm playing the subclass, right, I have a concept in my mind. I'm like a werewolf.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's the same thing I had. The swimming speed felt very
Yeah, this is you're a shape changer, you're not a specific thing. You're just a mishmash of whatever you need to be.
Yeah, this seems like something that you should choose one of these rather than you have all of these.
Yeah, I feel like this is very off-kilter for the flavor of the class. The ability to just shift randomly.
I think I like the feature mechanically.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the design of the feature, and I think it's also relatively balanced, but it does also not quite work for me in the flavor. I'm 100% with you.
And that's kind of one of the switches that I'm a man shark. That's cool. I think if you picked one of these, that's cool. The fact that you can switch out just feels weird to me. I don't want to be a man shark, and that's the concept of my character. It's I'm a were shark. Let me climb around on the ceiling for a while. Just it's just weird.
I like a couple of comments here from Switch and Reflected Switch. Now we can make min-max barbarian druids and roleplay. And Reflected says, Shifter Beast Barb Druid multiclass, half bear, can turn into a bear. Also, my grandfather was a bear. It's pretty good. It makes
beautiful
sense. So let's talk about, and actually I'd like to talk about both of these in one big sweep.
One?
Infectious Fury and Call of the Hunt in a big sweep.
Okay, yeah, well, I kind of want to, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Both of
Pete and I have not discussed this ahead of time, by the way. These are our raw reactions here.
Both of these have the same thing for me in a completely different way than the last one, but the same general feeling of this wasn't what I thought this was going to be. And it's this idea that your anger is infectious to the things around you, harming your enemies and frenzying your allies to help them fight. That
I can get Infectious Fury. That I can make sense, right? It's your lycanthrope curse. Assume you go in that direction. If you don't go in that direction, I've got no fucking idea. But
just the mechanics don't quite match it. For example, dealing psychic damage and is kind of you're a beast and you hit them so hard their mind shatters with your cursed claws, but you're not necessarily a lycanthrope. It's any beast. It didn't quite add up for me.
Well, and
Another
even
thing where
beyond the mechanics are terrible on Infectious Fury.
yeah, I don't like the
Awful.
abilities. I like you get a couple of things that you can do on a Constitution modifier number of charges and tying things to Constitution in that way. I
Mhm.
like that.
Well, the problem is it's got all these saving throws. Let's be real. You're fighting a big boss monster. The first thing you do is I attack them 3 times. Oh, I hit with all 3 of my claw attacks. Let me just roll me 3 con saving throws
Yeah,
now.
smite.
All right, I did
3
an
con
extra
save smites.
60-12 psychic damage because I'm a barbarian.
Yeah,
It's
it's
weird.
not quite right.
Yeah, bad mechanics, bad flavor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's
Mediocre flavor. I'm not gonna say
stuff. There's stuff that's there, and I don't think it's imbalanced. I think the balance is fine-ish on it.
The problem, I still think just like the first turn 60-12 psychic damage is a little whack. But I don't know. The big problem I have with it is they need to, if they're going to go in this specific direction, where this makes sense if you go with the lycanthropy direction, you need to narrow the class. You can't give all these options at the beginning and then make a very specific class feature that assumes you're part lycanthrope, which is what this does.
Yeah.
Frankly. There's no getting around it.
Like, I would feel much better about this if it was just a different damage. If it just said extra 2d12 of the same damage type because you're doing an extra, like you're just hitting extra hard, I wouldn't mind that. It still wouldn't be like unique or cool, but it would make more sense to me.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
Yeah,
it's not that great. Not inspired, not great.
Let's talk Call the Hunt.
This one's weird as shit.
Yeah, you get a big paladin aura, and it's worded in a funky way, but basically you get a big 30-foot paladin aura that you can use a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier. But how long does it last?
It lets your allies attack recklessly, and like
I guess the idea reckless attack.
The idea is like you howl with rage and your allies are with you, but like. First of all, you're putting a lot on your party to like, from a roleplay perspective with this feature. Because I don't think I have ever played a wizard that would want to like do that. Mechanically, sure, I gain 5-10 hit, or it actually does nothing. Or I have advantage against saving throws, against being frightened.
But do you? Does the wizard get that?
Because it
says. Okay, are you certain?
I think so, yeah. Your allies, until your rage ends, the chosen creatures gain their attack feature. Oh, and you have an advantage. So yeah, it would just do nothing for me and just kind of be weird.
But give the Barbarian 5 temporary hit points. It'd just be raw flavor, basically.
Yeah, it's just really weird.
Yeah, I don't like it. Also, it's
either.
Putting it on a number of times Constitution modifier, I think that's wrong here. This seems like a 1 a day. Because if you put it on that, basically that means every time you fight, you use this feature. So flavor-wise, you and your friends are just angry all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think this could maybe work if you're playing a very martial group and you want to do like, we're all marauders, we're all barbarian marauders. I'm going to be a champion fighter and I'm going to be this barbarian option. But like, I don't know. I just see this putting like some weird, it doesn't fit to me in the flow, in the kind of theme of the party. I get what they're going for, but it's just weird. And yes, Cold Spark, great pointing that out for Raz. Minimum of 1 time for almost all of these abilities. But yeah, I'm with you, Pete. I'm just not into it. It doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah. Again, like I was saying, I think it's all fine. Like, if someone wanted to really like this and wanted to play it, I wouldn't have an issue with it.
Yeah, I don't think it's imbalanced. I actually think it's kind of probably weak.
Yeah.
Unless your allies can use reckless attack, in which case it's broken. So it's either weak or broken.
It's fine, but it's not quite there.
Yeah, no. Needs some work. I like Adrian. Wizard, you are not worthy of Man-Shark's blessing.
I love what you're making, Switch. You're doing a great job with this.
I agree, Switch. This is the way it should be. Really, the whole class should be retooled and called the Man-Shark. let's talk about the next subclass here. So this is another subclass that was in this, because there's a whole bunch of them. There are 4 of them. This is a monk subclass called the Way of Mercy. This is a really interesting one. The idea is you are
Wait, Jeremy, can I say one last thing that I really wanted to say about Barbarian?
You can say 10 last things if you
want. Okay, really quick. Call the Hunt, that felt like a 4E ability to me. I shout and my allies get a buff.
Yeah, it did.
That's all. Sorry. Go on Way of Mercy.
In the worst kind of way, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I love 4E, but that was not in the good. Anyway, Way of Mercy. The point of the subclass is you're a monk. And the kind of flavor is you go around kind of helping those in the greatest need and stifling, evil as a means of mercy. Because that's kind of the concept, right? It's like, you cannot be redeemed. Rather than force you to live a life of evil, I will kill you as a mercy kind of deal, right? You are a masked bringer of life and death is the concept they're going for here. A little weird, but I can get it, right? Your witch doctor might fall under this kind of concept. And one of the things that they really decided would be important for the subclass is masks. That you are a masked character, and you walk around, and they give a bunch of options for masks, like the Raven mask, like a witch doctor, and then some other, like a blank white mask, a crying mask, a laughing mask, a skull, a butterfly. It's kind of weird. I follow the witch doctor concept. The other ones are all a little funky to me. Plague Doctor. Sorry, thank you, Farfel.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's fine.
Okay. I just seems a little funky.
I don't know if I would necessarily want to use it, but if it makes people, if it inspires people,
it just to me doesn't fit the concept they set out there, right?
This seems like it should be in a gray box and not in the class. Some of these people do this thing. Here's maybe an option if you like it, but not like putting it in the main thing.
Yeah.
But it's a little weird, but it's not like, I don't hate it.
Well, and the overall concept I think works, right? The monks that go around doing good for the people in need of the most good, right? That's a concept that's always existed.
Popa Potatoes, I got your Mac the Knife joke and making this man Shark's best friend. Talk about
I didn't.
It's an old I want to say it's a Sinatra song, but it might be credited to someone earlier, and Sinatra just sang it a lot.
Let's talk a little bit about these features they get at 3rd level. They get proficiency in insider medicine and some herbalism and poisoner's kit proficiencies, just useful. They make sense for what they've set up for the concept of the class.
Yeah.
No and here's
problem so far.
One I really like, actually. Healing Hand.
Yeah, I love this feature.
And the idea is, as an action, you can spend a key point and you can heal someone. You roll your martial arts die, use your wisdom modifier, you heal them. Really cool. But what makes this a great feature is when you use your flurry of blows, you can use this feature for one of your attacks. And you don't have to spend any extra key. Really cool, really nice. You're a monk, you're punching people with, you kick one guy, you punch another guy, and you hold out a hand of healing to your ally. Very flavorful. I like it a lot.
I'm 100% with you. Also, I just picture punch, gentle touch. There's something kind of goofy in a fun way about it.
Whimsical.
You also get a 3rd level, 3 1st level features. There's a lot going on here. You also get a 3rd level ability called Hands of Harm, which is kind of, I think, reflecting the duality, which is what they're going for throughout this class. And this I'm less into, which is you can expend a key when you hit with an unarmed strike to deal extra necrotic damage equal to your martial arts die. So basically, you just hit twice. So it amounts to similar to a flurry of blows in terms of damage, minus your dex modifier. Is what it amounts to. So
it's just an extra D8 of damage, or from D4 up to
extra
D10.
dice of damage, to whatever it becomes. But the caveat is if the creature is incapacitated or poisoned, the creature takes necrotic damage equal to 3 rolls of your martial arts die instead. So it's better if you have someone poisoned, but probably worse than flurry of blows if you don't.
Well,
have
this
them
is just
poisoned, but it
whenever you hit
applies
with
on
an
a
unarmed
hit.
strike.
So
This doesn't
it
have
does
to
give you the
be.
hit.
This isn't mutually exclusive to unarmed strike
That's
or to
true.
flurry. You
That's
can use
true.
this with those. I actually really like this feature personally. I know you just said you weren't super feeling it, but I
Yeah.
looked at a lot of the other features that monks get at 3rd level, and specifically, I was looking at the Way of Shadows and the open hand. The open hand is kind of my go-to monk to compare new monk subclasses against because it's so like fun to play and reasonably balanced. And I don't know. I mean, I think this is fine. I really don't have any issue with it balance-wise.
I'm not crazy about the. I actually
Extra
don't have a
damage.
problem with the balance. I think the extra damage is maybe a touch on the good side, but I don't have that big of a problem with the extra damage. I don't like the focus that it puts on your play.
Mm-hmm.
From more of like a playability and long-term fun aspect, it seems like this is forcing you to always make the same choice, is encouraging you to make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to use your Noxious Aura, which I also think when we get to Noxious, we'll start talking about Noxious Aura because I think these really play off each other.
Yeah, so Noxious Aura, you can spend a key point, and then in the immediate area adjacent to you, 5-foot radius, any creature that starts its turn there has to roll a saving throw or become poisoned for 1 round, and take a little bit of damage. I actually don't mind
Go
this.
ahead.
I really thought about it for a long time. I know you don't like it. You're about to say you don't like it.
Yeah, I really don't like it.
I really wanted to dislike it. I really wanted to. But I don't think I do. Because I really thought it's 5-foot radius. It's poison, which a lot of creatures can be resistant or immune to poison. I don't know. I'm not sure it's actually really a problem.
Well,
I really thought about this one for a while.
So let's talk balance-wise.
Sure.
It's 1 key point. So at 6th level, you have 6 key points. Essentially, I think it's fair to say that you always are using. This is always up
100%.
during combat for this monk. Okay. Farful's saying, and it's a con save. So yeah, it's not hard. It's just I just can't get behind a feature that's going to demand such consistent saves.
But it's once per turn.
Every turn this monk plays for a whole campaign starting at level 6.
Yeah, but at the same time, right, like, let's take any spellcaster. It's the exact same deal from them.
And it's 1, maybe. There's going to be, I think it's 1+, because it's always 1, but sometimes it's more.
Yeah. Well, hey, I don't like the Storm Barbarian, Adrian P. Don't you say it's like the Storm Barbarian in its defense. Storm Barbarian's design is terrible.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's a
lot,
lot, but it's only 5 feet, you know. I don't think it's really that big a deal.
Okay, I mean, you haven't fully convinced me, but I see what you're saying.
Compare it to Spirit Guardian. Spirit Guardians is a 10 or 15-foot rate. It's big, and it's everything every turn at the start of their turn.
I mean,
like,
it's really good.
This is nothing compared to that.
That's true. There's a lot of spells that follow that design. The thing that I that makes me less wary of those things is that, well, 1, it's a bigger tax, but 2, also, like, you can break it. This isn't breakable. If this had concentration,
get knocked unconscious.
Absolutely no.
You just kill them.
Oh yeah.
No, I tease a little bit. I'm with you.
I get what you're saying. It's not completely. You've convinced me that it's not like completely unusable, but it's still a bit much for my taste, at least.
Yeah, I mean, the real issue I've gotten here with this one is that, well, your aura is active, range attacks have disadvantage against you. That's the part where I was reading, I'm like, maybe that's a little unnecessary.
Yeah, it's kind of tacked on. But...
A lot of monks have some very powerful features at 6th level. And being able to poison indefinitely, if a creature is susceptible to poison, that's really good. Sure, it's a con save, which a lot of monsters are going to be very good at. Even NPCs, like humanoid NPCs, are going to be good at con saves most of the time because they're going to be spellcasters a lot. Or they're big fighters and they have high con. Everyone's going to be good at con. But I don't know.
Yeah, and the interplay of Hands of Harm and Noxious Aura, maybe that's satisfying, but I think that's going to get boring really quick. But you'll be kind of stuck into it. Like, there's not a lot of creativity in that, except for what is allowed by Hands of Healing, which I think is a brilliant feature.
Yeah, I think Hands of Healing is very. So, I mean, I think the Hands of Harm, Noxious Aura, I don't think it's really that bad, but I see where you're coming from, and maybe those features could use a switch out for something a little bit more, that's more of a choice. But the problem, Pete, here's the thing, right? Here's the problem, right? I got to stop again. Because already, the big thing that makes this, like, cool is you're using your key point, which means you're not using them to use Stunning Strike every turn. Which means there's already better choices here than there was on every other monk.
But are you? I guess we could talk.
If they're already poisoned, why would you stun them?
Because then they'll be stunned. Because they'll be stunned, Jeremy.
I don't know.
If it's one enemy, but healing. Let's talk healing technique. Also,
healing technique's great. I love this one.
Farfel,
the healing is good.
Well, actually, I want to point. I'm sorry. One more thing. Farfel is saying that it's better that this is not smart because Spirit Guardians is smart. This can hit your allies. I actually wish that this didn't hit your allies.
I could go either way. It's only 5 feet.
Yeah, it's not crazy. But like, I don't know. It's for a whole campaign of being like, never stand next to our monk feels a little like.
Well, it's because they're smelly. They're noxious, Pete.
I suppose. Healing technique.
They reek of death.
When you use your Hands of Healing, so you use your cool little heal move.
You get a lesser restoration.
Yeah, you can end a blinded, a deafened, a paralyzed, or a poisoned. I think it's a bit cheap, but I like it.
Oh, I love what? This is great.
You think it's good on the free ski?
I love it. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a feature that really sets this monk a little bit apart from every other class. Because a lot of classes get a free lesser restoration that takes their action, so they never ever use that feature.
I like
that this is unique.
I like the action economy on it, and I actually like the feature. I just think it should be a little extra key, because I just feel like one key is a little bit too easy to manipulate. Because that feels like it just kind of trivializes those conditions as factors in the game,
especially at 11th level.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, maybe that should be too.
Yeah, that was my issue. I like the feature and like the bonus action, putting it on the hands.
Mm-hmm. But that's a minor balance deal. And then a feature I really love, Hand of Mercy. I don't think this feature will make it into the game the way it is, but I do really like it.
I do too.
Kind of. There's a caveat on it.
It's a really cool, like, high-level feature. We can spend 4 key points and essentially put someone in stasis, where if they save, essentially this is a save or die, kind of like a Quivering Palm. I almost said the thing I always mess up and say, which is a Reverberating Strike. I don't know why I've been starting to say that, but Quivering Palm, regardless. Hand of Mercy locks someone, makes them incapacitated, unable to move, but also unable to take any damage or be affected by any statuses while they're in that stasis. So it's just like, you lock someone down indefinitely until you use the feature again, or an amount of time equal to your monk level goes by. Very cool.
The reason I think this is a really cool feature is I see this as like, right, there's the big bad guy, right? You just defeated the big bad, but wait, their giant energy crystal thing's going to explode. And the monk just turns to one of their allies and says, sleep. And they pass out and the monk blows up. And it's dramatic and it's cool. Right? There's that sick, dramatic moment where you put your ally into stasis to keep them from dying. It's a dramatic sacrifice. That just sounds really cool to me. That's the scene I see playing out with this move.
I think it's sick too, but I was distracted a little bit by
God damn it.
A new member of chat who has appeared, Manshark. Manshark thinks this is Reverberating Strike. I've been properly roasted.
It's not.
Welcome to the chat, Manshark.
This is actually this is the one problem I have with this feature, Pete. It just like Quivering Palm, it's a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah,
it costs 1 more key point than Quivering Palm, It
Quivering
effectively
Palm
does
is
the
only-
same thing.
Quivering Palm is only 3?
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Quivering Palm is so... Are you sure?
Yeah, it's 3. I checked it earlier.
Brain, I was thinking Quivering
Like
Palm
7?
was 5, is what I thought Quivering Palm
It's
was.
3.
What a good move.
But
yeah,
here's my problem. Quivering Palm takes 2 turns to set up. And if it succeeds, it's an auto kill. This takes 1. You do it on the same turn. And that's my problem with the ability. This is using 12 key points and 3 turns. Your legendary resistances are gone. Hard stop. I think the fact that it happens as 1 action might be too much for this feature. Because actually, this is better than Quivering Palm. Because it doesn't take the turn to set up. And I just said something was better than Quivering Palm. That's whack.
It's a good feature. It's cool as hell, though. Someone was saying it feels like... Oh, yeah, it was... Farfel was saying, feels like Doctor Strange trip through reality. Yeah, I get that a lot. I don't know, I really like it, but...
I mean, it's so cool.
Maybe it needs a touch more.
It needs a little more thought behind it. Switch, you agree? I'm so sorry.
Want to talk about the Oath of the Watchers?
Oh my goodness. So, I'm sorry, we didn't talk too much, just a quick back on the monk. Thoughts on concept? Good concept, bad concept? What you think?
Pretty good.
I think so as well. I think the execution was even pretty solid throughout.
Yeah, again, as much as I had issues with really Noxious Aura is my biggest problem. Like,
if you think about it more, I think you'll like it. I think you'll hate it less.
Well, I've already been convinced to hate it less.
Then I've won.
I mean, I still don't like it, but Hands of Harm, I don't have that much problem with. I'm worried that Hands of Harm isn't going to work well for a long time, but I don't have a problem with the balance.
It could really suck against we're going through the abyss. Everything's immune to poison. Looks like my core class features at level 3 and 6 don't work.
Well, it's
at least you have the healing.
Yeah, the healing is great. I don't know. I like this for the most part.
Well, let's talk about the Paladin and the Oath of Watchers, because of all of them, conceptually, I think this one is the best. I think this is a really sick concept.
I like this one a lot too.
Do you want to describe it, or do you want me to take them?
Yeah, I'll describe this one. Paladins of the Oath of the Watchers. The Oath of the Watchers is essentially paladins who have sworn an oath to protect the prime material plane from the kind of denizens of other planes that are evil and that shift in to cause chaos in our realm. A very paladin theme, like the idea of the Watcher on the wall, in a lot of ways, made popular this concept, I feel like, by Game of Thrones recently, but it still feels old and like an archetype that belongs in the world of D&D. I think it's worth reading the tenets of the Watchers, because these are paladins always get their tenets, and these are very cool. Your tenets are vigilance. The threats you face are cunning, powerful, and subversive. Be ever alert for their corruption. Loyalty. Never accept gifts or favors from fiends or those who truck with them. Stay true to your order, your comrades, and your duty. And discipline. You are the shield against the endless terrors that lie beyond the stars. Your blade must be forever sharp, and your mind keen to survive what lies beyond. I love this flavor. I think it's very cool.
Just the endless terrors which lie beyond the stars.
Yeah, it's there was the person who wrote that definitely made that exact same motion, Jeremy.
It is inspired. It is
sure.
a work of love here. The abilities, I mean, starting, you get some spells. I'm not too worried about these.
Hollow is really cool for them.
Yeah, Hollow
Alarm
really
is also very cool for that.
Some just solid options here. Moonbeam even is a really flavorful one. Just very good options. Yeah. Even non-detection. Will a paladin ever cast that? I don't know. Maybe.
If they do.
But if there's going to be one that does,
dramatic, I assume.
Yeah. Counter spell? Whoa! Some really, really cool options here, and I think they're all very fun. Let's talk about these channel divinities. Holy mackerel. You want to cover one of these, Peter? Should I jump in?
Just take them.
So you get two channel divinity options. One is called Watcher's Will, and one is called Abjure the Extraplanar. As an action, so as Watcher's Will, you can choose any number of creatures. A number of creatures equal to your charisma modifier or less within 30 feet of you. And then for 1 minute, all of the chosen creatures have an advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. Holy crap. That is a power move right there. I mean, a lot of the channel divinities that paladins get are good, but that is really good.
Yeah. Is it too good?
Yeah, I think that's too good.
Maybe. I still like it though, Jeremy.
It's so good, but it
also feels so cool because the moment where like they use that channel divinity and like, because I'm picturing it as you're fighting a mind flare, and I'm imagining like the dream of this ability, which is you're fighting a mind flare and your player doesn't know what that is, and then they find out what they start to do and they're like, Watcher's Will, and they all of a sudden gain this boon after
you
learning
fool,
that
close your mind to this fiend. Right, like
yeah, like that
very
flavor
cool.
is so sick. It's a little overtuned, baby. I think it'd be cool if maybe you picked one.
Well, and here, let's just keep moving. Abjure the Extraplanar.
I hate turns.
As an action, each elemental, fey, fiend, or aberration within 30 feet of you that can hear you must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, they're turned for 1 minute. And what turn says is the creature has to move away from you. It has to dash as its action or dodge if it can't dash. And that happens until the creature takes damage, specifically. Holy crap. So, turn effects are things that all clerics have, and all the paladins have to some degree. And the Oath of Ancients paladin has a similar turn effect for, I think it's fiends and undead. This one is for elemental, fey, fiend, and aberrations. And the reason I think this is really bad, design-wise, is if you look at the clerics, they have turn undead. It's just undead. And so when you look at all of the undead in the monster manual and the other expansions, Volo's Guide, and whatever, the big boss undead either have resistance to or immunity to turn effects. No aberrations do, no elementals do, no fey, no fiends, including pit fiends, as Adrian P. found out in a one-shot that we ran some time ago. He turned the pit fiend boss, and, well, that was the end of the show.
I'm pretty positive that Zariel, the Lord of the First Hell, does not have, Archdevil of the First Hell, does not have turn resistance.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. And as an experienced DM might know to just be like, well, this thing would have it if the game allowed you to have, if the game was designed for that. But
the game wasn't designed with other things to be able to be, is what it comes down. I think bad idea to take this concept designed for undead and undead are designed around it, and then just apply it to other things without really thinking it through. At least that's kind of my initial concept, my initial thought on it.
Pope of Potatoes, this is because I'm reading your mind. I have linked with your brain and am taking your thoughts to say them here upon the stream.
Looks like Switch really loves this feature, Adrian. I'm glad you like it.
Aura of the Sentinel? I like Aura of the Sentinel too. I
really love it.
Yeah, I feel like it's the lowest impact aura I've seen so far for a paladin, which is
what?
Oh, you seem like you disagree, which I thought was good.
I completely disagree. I think it's the best.
You and your friends around you get bonus on initiative?
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of initiative as being the. I guess it depends on the fight.
What do you mean, Pete?
I've always thought of initiative as being like,
this is busted. I think this is very strong. I think chat's on your side thinking it's one of the weaker ones. Let's just look at some of the other auras that they are before we talk about this guy.
Like,
so also, hello, enjoy your burrito, welcome.
Compared,
so okay, let's look at like Devotion Paladin, right? What their aura does is within 10 feet, it suppresses charm effects, right, Pete?
Within 10 feet, it suppresses Charm effects. Yeah. Doesn't it give you... Does it completely suppress?
Yeah, I believe it does.
Okay.
So suppresses charm effect, which is really good if you're fighting vampires or fae. That's it.
Let's talk like ancients.
This is good. All the ancients, you take half damage from spells, specifically just spells.
Yeah.
Really great if you're fighting a lich or humanoid NPC spellcaster. That's it.
Maybe my perspective is skewed, but
this is good.
Like
literally every battle
common.
you ever use, this is going to be so good. Well, no, because there's a lot of monsters that don't have spells. They do spell-like effects without spells.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff that casts spells, though, man.
There's not that many.
Humans are the most common enemy.
But not monsters. This is good in every single battle. Switch, you're on my side. The aura's so strong. No, this is good in every fight you're ever going to face. Most paladins are going to max their charisma. You're going to have a +5 to charisma in everything you take. Every battle for the rest of the game.
I mean, you're right. It's good in every battle, which is the thing that I thought was cool about it. It was just a kind of an all-purpose, but it's just
I think it's so good.
It's just initiative, man.
I put so much value on going first. It's so important.
I don't know. I guess I put less on it.
It's the moral victory, Pete.
Yeah, maybe. 10 feet of you also, like, until you get to 18th level and you're in 30 feet, you're probably going to get, like, one of the, it assumes that you're ready for combat to really get the most of this, but usually if you're going into combat...
I just walk in a close-knit circle with my allies.
Yeah, do you and your buddies always just be tight going into combat, or...
Wait a minute, Pete, have you ever played in a campaign with a paladin in your party? Because that's exactly what happened. Everyone says, well, I walk within 10 feet of the paladin. Everybody does.
Sometimes. I don't like
every time.
I don't like doing it. Maybe, man. I don't know. I don't see it as terribly strong.
I don't know, man.
Corporal was saying the same thing. Thought to put the power from.
You're giving the cleric the banishment before the monsters go. You're getting the sorcerer, the disintegrate, or the fireball, or whatever, depending on the level, before the monster gets to even against, like, let's say you're taking the scenario where there's 2 big monsters. Right, like 2 lieutenants to the big evil guy. One of them's dead before they get to go.
Okay, well let's step back from this and say, do you like it?
I love it. Oh my god, it's awesome. This is so good. It also is very, very like appropriate. Like this is super fitting. This is the vigilance.
Yeah, I think it's great. Let's move on from this one.
Yeah, all right. I mean, we agree that it's awesome.
Yeah, it's rad.
And just to clarify, I don't think it's overpowered. I just think it's very good.
Yeah. I caught that. I was with you.
Well, I was exaggerating a little bit for chat. Vigilant Rebuke, 15th level. Pete, you want to take this one?
Yeah, it's great. Basically, when someone around you succeeds on a saving throw against a spell, you can use your reaction to deal 2d8 plus your charisma modifier force damage to spellcaster. It's hilariously... I love this ability. When someone around you overcomes a spell and the person is kind of bummed out about their spell not working, you get to pile on top of it and be like, and damage! And it feels very flavorful to a paladin for me. Like, I picture them overcoming the spell, and, like, you see it all the time in shows where, like, a kind of a lower level devil, for example, will cast, like, a high level main character with an ability, and they'll, like, brush it aside, and, like, the creature will get thrown back, and this feels like that to me, and it's really cool.
And actually, I think you hit the nail on the head there, thrown back. I would have loved if this were a knock the creature back 15 feet, instead of 2d8 plus whatever damage. That one I think would be even cooler.
I would have been, if I could marry those ideas, I would have been down on 2d8 plus nothing and maybe 5 feet.
5 feet?
Maybe 10.
That's so.
Yeah, maybe 10. Well, 5 feet also is like if it's a touch spell, it puts them out of touch.
What if they get knocked back a number of feet equal to 5 times the level of the spell? We're getting too complicated there, but that would be really cool.
It's cool. I really like it. Do you like it as well?
I think it is the least cool feature on this class, which is saying like you're
all the
the
features
worst.
are very cool though.
You're the worst of the best.
You're the worst musician in Led Zeppelin.
And let's talk about the best feature.
Mortal Bulwark is amazing. Do you want to do it, Jeremy?
So cool.
It's really cool.
Okay, so this is your capstone, level 20. This is your god tier feature. The only problem I have with this is that it says you manifest a spark of your deity's power.
Yeah,
Paladins don't necessarily have deities in 5e, but whatever. As a bonus action, you gain the following benefits. You gain true sight out to 120 feet. Nothing can trick your eyes. I love that. You have advantage on attack rolls against elementals, fae, fiends, and aberrations. Very fitting. 20th level.
Yep, cool.
Go for it. When you hit a creature with an attack and deal damage to it, you can also enforce it to make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is magically banished to its native plane of existence if it's not already there. On a successful save, the creature can't be banished by this feature for 24 hours. That's so cool. I love that they're just like, and the creature is gone. Right, you're cutting through waves of like mind flayers going toward the Elder Brain.
It's rad. It's rad as hell.
So
it gives you that final battle feeling of you're better than your opponents, and
so inspired.
I love it a ton.
Yeah.
It's not imbalanced because it has the 24 hours thing.
It's
like
level
if it didn't
20.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. You're up against Wish and Meteor Swarm.
I actually think that this would be imbalanced for level 20 if it didn't have the if you succeed, you're immune for 24 hours. If you could just keep doing it.
That would be obnoxious as hell.
Yeah, that would suck. But with that,
this is totally for banishing plebs, and I love it.
Yep, exactly.
It's so inspired.
Nothing else to say. On the whole, I think that this is a little bit tuned up. Like everything is just like a little on the good side.
But
it's very cool. It's really well put design. All the design is excellent. Maybe Exane. I don't like the design actually on Abjure the extra planar. But other than that, I think all the design is really cool and fun. So I'm actually more willing to forgive bad balance if it makes a great subclass.
Perfect. If it perfectly fits our concept and theme, which this I think does, I'm with you on that. I'm also willing to accept.
So I think
to see Abjure changed.
This may be the best Unearthed Arcana that I've seen since we've been talking about these on D&D time.
I would completely agree.
There's a couple other ones that I really liked, but this might be the number one.
It's just so inspired.
Yeah,
like that's a character I want to play.
Warlock?
The Warlock, Noble Genie. Pete, you want to take this one?
I've always wanted to make a Genie Warlock.
Is this the Genie Warlock you wanted to make?
Not exactly. It's not. It's
Pete, you don't have to beat around the bush. You can say no.
I don't understand it fully.
Yeah, I don't either. This is not what I would have made for a Genie Warlock.
I want to kind of rush through it, honestly. Collector's Vessel. You saw your patron as a genie.
Yeah, you get to work for a genie.
And your core feature that you get at level 1 is you get a Collector's Vessel, which is something that your genie was in. I mean, obviously the first choice is a lamp, but there's other stuff it could be. But that's the one everyone thinks of. And what it lets you do is like you can create a tether from your vessel to another willing thing, and it becomes like a pseudo genie for you, which allows you to cast your magic through the tethered individual as long as they're within 100 feet of you, and it gives you extra better perception checks, because I guess you're seeing through both of your eyes. It doesn't really feel like the flavor of a genie at all to me.
Yeah, like when I think of genie, right? I think of the giant, like, not spectral, but like almost ghost, the genie hand, Aladdin genie.
I was going to say, let's
batting things aside, grabbing things, and this doesn't do that at all.
Let's
none of these features do it.
I was gonna say let's cut the crap and just say we want Aladdin. We want Robin Williams as our patron.
Yeah, 100%. At least I want the ability to do that. Like at level 6, you get resistance to a damage type that you get to pick, and the person you're tethered to also gains resistance. Whatever. At 10th level, you get a feature called Protective Wish, which just is lame. You get to switch places with the person you're tethered to switch who gets hit by an attack. That's dumb. That's not what I would bend my wish on. I would wish for something cool, not to have my ally get dunked. Like,
yeah,
it's just the whole deal. I mean, I guess you could use the Protective Wish to tether like an enemy and swap.
But it has to be a willing creature that you tether.
Yeah, I just don't dig this at all. The level 10 feature is just a whack banishment. Like,
it's a weird flavor on it. It sends them to your patron's court, and it's like,
so they can marvel at the thing you've banished.
It's kind of a cool flavor,
funny.
But it's not like a flavor that it's going to work for everybody.
Plus, let's be real, right? You're a warlock. You have a magical genie, right, that you worship or that gives you your power. In that campaign, most dungeon masters are realizing that you are interested in this, you want to engage with it, and guess what? You're probably going to go to your genie's place to talk to them at some point in the campaign. And the whole point of this is you banish them there so that it's just a banishment. But if you can just teleport there and just kill them while they're stunned there, why wouldn't you? Because you've gone and seen your genie before. Like, that just, I don't know. I just don't like it at all. Bleh.
Collector's Calls, the capstone, it basically gives you more wishes, like more things to kind of wish for in that flavor, but they're specific to, there's a weird persuasion check DC, which is kind of like, I get the flavor of it, but I don't know if it works as a mechanic where you have to make a persuasion check against your own DC to get your genie to do one of these things. And then they'll like restore some hit points or end a condition, or they'll like mess up one of your enemy's attack, or they'll cast a legend lore. It's okay. It's just not what I was hoping for. As someone who was specifically excited about a genie subclass before I even knew that this Unearthed Arcana was going to be existing.
This isn't the great and all-powerful genie that that's the fancy
lore
of the subclass.
Yeah. I think we were talking about it on the stream one time, but do you remember my genie capstone warlock idea?
No.
I was calling it roughly in my mind 3 wishes, and it's you get 3 wishes.
That's a sick capstone. I love it.
Isn't it? It's just that it would be the only consumable the only consumable capstone where it only lasts you for a while, but just presumably you're using that capstone to do some rad shit in your campaign and it's worth it. Which
that is what it should be. Like, that's just a perfect option.
I was so excited about that idea that anything other than that now will not feel right to me for a genie subclass. I guess I'm kind of biased going into this.
I mean, it just isn't, it doesn't fulfill that fantasy. And that's the whole point. If you're going to make a new subclass, it has to fill an archetype, it has to fulfill a fantasy that A, people want, and B, doesn't exist in 5e. There are some good mechanics here. I have no doubt about that. I think mechanically, the subclass is even pretty good. It's got some really cool, you work with your allies to protect your allies, you get to swap spots. It has some really cool mechanics about that. To me, though, it does not scream genie.
Yeah, there's some strategy sort of stuff in here that's interesting, like tactically.
Yeah.
But genie isn't really, to me, a tactical thing. It's I have whatever I need.
I am the genie of the lamp.
I am the genie of the lamp. Like, it's whatever you need. It's not tactics. It's brute force. Yeah.
It's brute magical force.
Indeed. And that's all of
It's important because it overcomes resistance to regular brute force, to non-magical brute force.
Unearthed Arcana for the day. That's all of them. Final thoughts. Path of the Beast. Balanced. Not quite there.
Conceptually, good. Starts out really good. Doesn't end really good.
Doesn't follow up on itself. Way of Mercy. I like it. I mean, barring Noxious Aura, I like it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty well-built class, very playable.
Of the Watchers, well done.
Incredible. I would say it's incredible.
Touch overtuned, but justifiably so. And Noble Genie needs some work.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good as a Noble Genie subclass. Mechanically fine, for the most part. Not great as a Noble Genie, in my opinion. But that's about it for that. Pete, it's time for I don't have the Ask Pete and Jeremy music ready, so we're just gonna go right over to just us now. Hello. Oh, actually, wait. Wait, is that gonna work?
Ask
I
me
don't know.
Pete and Jeremy. That's all it says.